Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about film soak times. And so we get this question asked a lot, and it's one of those things where we thought we'd shoot a quick little video, show you guys a few tips and tricks on how to diagnose film soak times, as well as, of course, every film is going to come possibly with a different soak time. A lot of them are about the same, about a minute on the water, but what happens if it's not? And what do you do to fix it? So let's kind of dive into that a little bit and talk a little bit about what's going on and why those things are made like that. So every film is made differently. As you can tell, we have two pieces of film here that are side by side that we've taped for this video. So of course we have this film right here. It's like a black skull pattern, and it also has some silver in it. And so of course we have our standard carbon fiber that you see us use all the time in the videos. Now, flip it over to the back side and it looks totally different. Now, of course, this actually has a silver backing made onto it. And of course, this one is just clear. So you can use just about any base color you want on there. And so whenever these films are manufactured, they will also come with different PVAs. And the PVA is the actual clear part right here that the film is actually made out of, which is actually called polyvinyl alcohol. And so depending on the manufacturer of the film and the requirements that the customer has for this certain film pattern will sometimes dictate how many minutes or seconds that the film actually needs to be sitting on top of the water. And so with something like this right here, we wanted to show you a quick little video to see the difference on how much just 1 minute versus 2 minutes can make on a film, as well as, of course, seeing the difference in why something may work whenever it's even correctly activated. So sometimes it may not be an activator issue that you might be chasing, it might actually be a film soak time issue. So of course, definitely check the specs on the manufacturer's website. We try to put a lot of ours on the website itself under the description, so that way you know exactly if you're working with a standard film or if it's going to be different. We try to put in there, this may take a 2-minute soak time, 3-minute soak time, or 1.5 minutes or anything like that. You'll be able to see it there. But let's go ahead, let's lay this down into the water and show you a few things. So we're going to lay this down into the water like this, and of course start our timer. So now that we have the timer set for about 1 minute on top of the water, we're going to pull this in and contain it just like we normally would. So we'll move this over, and this will be moved over as well. Now, the biggest thing about this is that we're going to be spraying, of course, one passive activator across the entire thing. But what you're going to see is that this film right here is going to act totally different and not stretch hardly at all compared to what this film does right here. And a lot of that is going to be in the soak time itself. This one is going to need a lot more soak time to be able to wrap around it, because essentially this has a little bit thicker PVA material, and so of course it needs longer soak time for it to break down and be able to be stretched and be very pliable whenever the activator is applied. So let's go ahead and hook up the activator and spray it, and we'll show you the end result here. So of course, if you look up top very quickly, you can definitely see that we do have some lines coming in right in through here. And of course, right through here, we have no lines at all on that. And so of course, with something like that, with the lines, that's going to tell me that I still need to let it soak longer. Now, whenever we go to dip this, we'll notice that as we're going down, the carbon fiber should wrap very well. But if you notice on the right-hand side of the silver-backed film, it's literally just tearing and breaking away, and that's not what we want at all. And so of course, as we go down and down further and further, we no longer have a good print. So of course, on this one right here, we have a very good soak time. Activator was applied correctly. We have a dark black image all the way to a light image as it stretches down. It wrapped all the way around the fingers, and a very good image all the way around here. So this one would have been a pretty good dip. Now, move on to this one. totally different. Now, if you'll notice, it made it all the way around my thumb all through here because it was properly soaked. But with this one, it wrapped fairly decent around and through here, but you'll notice that it did not actually finish wrapping all the way around. Also, you can see we've got some really bad images coming around through here, and definitely not exactly what we had wanted. Definitely way overstretched, which again, we know that it was going to be way overstretched through here, but essentially the film was not properly soaked. And so by having a longer soak time, we can go ahead and leave that to where whenever it is soaked properly, it will wrap around much better to wrap around that. And so if you'll notice on this replay here that we're going to do, you'll notice that on these edges, as I'm dipping it down into the water, as I'm dipping my hand down into the water, the right side of the film will have wrinkles. And so that right there is going to be a big telltale sign that either one of two things. Number one, I do not have enough activator, or number two, which is possibly the case, is that it needs to let it soak a lot longer. Now, a lot longer could be 30 seconds, it could be 10 seconds, it could be 2 minutes. This is something that you might have to play with depending on the film that you're using and of course what all you're trying to dip. So as you can quickly see, having the right amount of soak time is very critical to having a very good dip. Now, if we was to take that same silver-backed film and we went to possibly say 2 minutes or something like that, that film would be broken down a lot more and it would allow it to stretch a lot better with the exact same amount of film that we applied, just as it was on the carbon fiber that we applied. And so then of course we would have got a lot better dip overall. It would have wrapped around a lot better, and we of course would not have seen any of those wrinkles. So if you're starting to see those, definitely check to make sure that you do have the right soak time for your film. So of course, if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. We'd love to hear from you on anything hydrographics related, as well as if you have any other questions about the soak times or anything like that, definitely let us know. We'd love to try to help you guys out. Of course, if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks, as well as check out the website. It has tons of information on everything that you're going to need for the hydrographics process. So I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.